mean, let's face it, listings always matter. Listings have always been important, but they're even more so now. You know, it's funny because all everybody talks about is low inventory, low inventory, low inventory. And yet when you actually think about it, the issue is not actually low inventory, it's high demand. You know, for example, you know that I live in the US. In the US, all they talk about is low inventory, low inventory, low inventory. And yet we've had more transactions this year than last year. So inventory wasn't the issue. The issue is that you don't have the inventory, right? Because those people who have it that are selling very quickly, they're getting multiple offers. They love having those listings, you know? So we know that listings always matter. We know that they give you the power in the market. And now so more than ever, but it means that you got to be creative. You know, we just went through a time where, you know, with COVID and all this other kind of stuff, where things have changed, the market's changed, demand has gone to all-time highs. It's a crazy thing. And what's crazy about it is, you know, normally when I do these things, I do these trainings all over the world in, you know, different countries, many times, you know, especially doing virtually, many times I'm in different countries all throughout each day. But what it's done is it's kind of put everybody in the same position. You know, usually when you're talking to this country or that country or whatever, you've got to make sure that you're using examples and you're talking about the market as it is right now in their area. And it's always different everywhere. And right now, that's not necessarily the case. Right now, it's kind of everybody's low inventory, everybody's low interest rates, everybody's high demand, and so listings matter no matter where you are. But I thought it'd be really cool if we just kind of talked about and did kind of a tactical, you know, 30-minute training on just how do you get listings outside the box, right? And we're going to do some old school, we're going to do some new school. But what I can promise you is every single one of these things matters. Okay. Like every one of them works. You know, we've got thousands of students all over the world and they're using these strategies and they're working, right? And so I'm going to cover some of those. Some of them will work better for you than others based on your personality, but they all work. What you want to do is you want to pick 2 or 3 of the things I'm going to talk about. And I'm not even sure how many I'm going to cover yet. We're going to see based on time, you know, what's allowed here. But you just pick 2 or 3 of them that works and you work those things. Your mentality has to be that if it's worked for someone, it works for anyone. If it worked for someone else, it can work for me, rather than being that person who just kind of overthinks and goes, I don't think that'll work here. Well, I don't know if that'll. When you overthink, you create problems that don't even exist. I think we all can agree on that, right? I saw a showering meme recently, and it said, and it was a clean showering meme. And it said, what actually happens in the shower? And it said 3% bathing, 97% winning fake arguments in your head. And, you know, that's so true. When we overthink, we create problems that don't even exist. And that also applies when we're talking about trainings and strategies and tactics and things we can do. So with that being said, let's jump into it. We're going to go old school. We're going to go new school. I'm going to try to do a little bit of sharing off my phone, although the internet is down. You know, so hopefully that will work. We'll see how that works. But one of the first ways that you can actually get listings, the first strategy is actually by using your email database. This is probably one of the most effective ways that almost none of you that are listening to me right now actually use, because we use our email to just spam or just to, you know, whatever it is, right? But when you think about it, there's no more effective marketing than email. Obviously referrals, but you can't control those. A lot of people will go, well, email has a 21.6% open rate. And my response is always, what the heck are you doing right now that has a 21.6% open rate? Like, what marketing are you doing right now that has that kind of open rate? So I'm going to show you my phone. I'm going to give you guys some examples because I want this to be real world for you. I'm going to give you guys some examples of things, of actual emails you can send out to your database that have been proven to actually generate business for our clients, okay? So you should be able to see my phone right now. If not, I'm sure one of them would stop me. But this first one I'm gonna use, you can actually download these. I've got these on my Instagram profile. You can download them for free, okay? So when you go to @JaredJamesToday, you can see it right at the top, @JaredJamesToday. You just scroll down until you see this little bad boy right here. And here's some examples of templates you can use, okay? So here's one email that would go out. And it says, you won't believe this. Now, one of the things that I want to make sure we understand is that this verbiage in this email is verbiage we're going to use over and over again, okay? Winning in real estate, success in real estate is about saying the right things to the right people at the right time, right? And you got to say them enough times, over and over again. And so this verbiage, you're going to see it in some of the prospecting we do. You're going to see it in emails. You're going to see it in social posts. Why? Because it works, okay? So it's going to say, hi, first name. You won't believe this, but I've got 2 buyers looking for a home. Let's look at this again. Looking for a home in whatever area that are ready, willing, and able to go. But unfortunately, due to the extremely low inventory, we've been unable to find them anything. But that's why I'm reaching out to you. Can you do me a favor? If you or anyone you know is even considering selling, please let me know right away. I may be able to sell your or their house without it ever even hitting the market. That's the verbiage right there. Can you do me a favor? If you or anyone you know is even considering selling, can you please let me know right away? I may be able to sell your house without it ever hitting the market. That's called leveraging your buyers you have right now, which is a common theme you're going to hear from me over and over again, because everyone wants sellers and they're annoyed with buyers. And yet the number one thing you can use right now to get sellers is buyers, right? Let's talk about another one. There was one on the second here, but I'm going to go to the third one for the sake of time. If you just scroll to the left there, you'll see all these on my Instagram. You can download them. And the subject says, I'm ready to solve a dilemma you might have. As you may or may not know, we have a serious inventory problem here in blank. More importantly, it may be causing a dilemma for you or someone you know that I'm ready to solve for you. What is that dilemma? You may want to sell, but are unsure that you can find another house worthy of moving into. And guys, for all of you listening to me, like how many situations have you had like that, right? For that reason, I've decided to offer my services free of charge to keep an eye out for you and what you might be looking for, which by the way is always free of charge to look out for houses, which includes notifying you of off-market properties. That's the key word they want to hear when they are brought to my attention. I only do this for my top clients. So please reply to this email with your needs ASAP to reserve your spot atop my list. That's called scarcity, right? You want to be at the top, you got to reply right away. What are you looking for, right? So there's one thing you can do, which is just by using your email database and sending out emails like that, look, to 90% of your database, it's not going to matter, but to that 10% that is actually thinking or is having that problem, this is going to matter to them, right? So you're getting their attention. Like I always say, visibility trumps ability. We've got to actually get in front of them if we're ultimately going to win. And the other thing you notice with those is I want you to pay attention to how specific the subjects were. The subjects need to grab their attention, right? I've got a problem I can solve. I'm going to solve your dilemma. They're like, what's my dilemma? What's it going to be, right? Here's another way that you can actually attract listings to you. By having an amazing call to action, okay? You in your business need to have strong calls to action, okay? And what do I mean by that? Having your phone number somewhere, having a billboard with your phone number is not a call to action, okay? That's not gonna move anyone forward, okay? So what kind of calls to action are strong? Look at things like instant offers, right? I know Zillow launched in Canada, and they're also available in the US. And a lot of people in the US have gotten on them because they offer instant offers and they're stealing our sellers and they're, whatever. But the truth is, when polled, over 93% of sellers said they wanted an instant offer, like on the spot, while less than 1% would actually take advantage of that offer. So what happens? Companies like Zillow and others offer instant offers. They get in front of sellers. The sellers don't take the instant offers, and then they sell those seller leads back to you. Why can't you do that? Why can't you have an instant offer program? Why can't you go to your local REIA, REIA, Real Estate Investors Association, or whatever the investor association in your area is called, start going to those monthly meetings, go to those quarterly meetings, start making relationships with investors, pick 5 investors that pay cash for homes. By the way, usually it's not even cash for homes. It's a line of credit through a hard money lender that looks like cash. So you go make a deal with 5 different investors that I'm going to start bringing you properties for people who want an offer. And as long as I bring them to you, will you give me an offer within 24 hours? Great. Make that deal with 5 investors. You now have an instant offer program. Okay. So now you're able to market to your area, say instant offer available, contact me now to see what you may be able to get. Now you're getting in front of them. You're visible. Remember, 93% want an instant offer. Less than 1% actually take it. And what are you doing now? You're marketing this out to them. You're getting in front of them. They show you their home. You send it to your 5 investors and you bring them offers within 24 hours. Less than 1% of the time are they going to accept one of those offers. The other 99.5%, guess who they're going to look to potentially sell? Guess who was there first? You, okay? So if we know the market wants that, we've got to listen to that. Now, if you want to see what those can look like, those instant offers can look like, we have a group on Facebook called Jared James Coaching. You just type into Facebook, Jared James Coaching. It's a group. You can join for free. There's over 18,000 agents from all over the world that don't spam each other. They don't post their local listings in there. They only help each other, masterminds, send referrals, that kind of stuff. If you go into that group and in the search in that group, you put in instant offer, you will start to see threads of other agents with examples of what they've put together for their instant offer, what it looks like, what the branding looks like, what they offer. Go and take it and make it your own. Now you have an instant offer program. You can take what looks good from these other agents, go jump on Fiverr, Fiverr, Fiverr.com. You can go jump on Upwork, Upwork, Upwork.com, get a designer from some other country that will replicate what these other agents' materials look like within 24 hours for $5 to $10. You've got an instant offer program, right? What other type of compelling calls to action can you market in your area to bring sellers to you that differentiate you? What about things like certified pre-owned homes? You know, we started doing this with our students all over the world, and it's killing it. Like you know, when you go buy a car and it's certified pre-owned, which means it's gone through a checklist and it's got all the things that were done and it makes you feel comfortable. Why wouldn't you do that for homes, right? So we have certified pre-owned homes, which means that it's already had an inspection when it's listed. The inspection's been done. The inspection report is available to any serious buyer that wants to see the inspection report that was done by a licensed inspector. Any major things were taken care of already. And what you do is you go make a deal with a local inspector. You say, hey, when you charge my people, when they're doing an inspection, charge them normal, whatever. But when I bring you one of my homes for certified pre-owned and we're doing a pre-listing inspection, I want half price because I'm going to be doing this at bulk with you, right? And so you make that deal. Every one of your homes that's certified pre-owned comes with that inspection done. A copy can go to the buyer, comes with a 1-year home warranty, comes with, again, go into Jared James Coaching, the group on Facebook, type in certified pre-owned, look at the threads, look at what other agents are doing, create your own certified pre-owned program. It's different. It differentiates you. It's something that we all need to do, okay? What else can we do? Well, you can do things like using social posts, okay? So when you're talking about using social posts, although you can't use them right now because the internet is down, you know, the types of questions that you put out. When you look at Facebook and Instagram and these algorithms, they don't actually do really well by the number of likes they get. They do really well. The algorithm is triggered by the number of comments that they get, okay? So you want to do things that generate comments that remind people that you're in business to sell real estate and maybe even have very specific things that have to do with real estate. So you might post something like, you know, let's get real about 2021 or let's get real about 2022. After sitting home during the pandemic, what are 3 non-negotiables that your next home must have that your current one doesn't? Okay, so let's get real about whatever. After sitting home, what are 3 things that your next home, what are 3 non-negotiables your next home must have that your current one doesn't? And what you're going to get is you're going to start getting people who are commenting with things that they need in their next home. And then they're going to tell you, we actually want that. And the more people that comment, even if they're not serious buyers or sellers at this moment, the more people that comment, it triggers that algorithm and it shows up in front of more people and more people. And before you know it, you've got a thread with 223 comments and 5 to 6 potential sellers. Okay. So it's just being proactive to make it happen. What about another post you could do? And by the way, all of these posts we've done with our students, like they work amazing, right? Like we've actually tested these out. Okay. So what about if you put out a post and you said, hey, I'm doing a little research on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to sell your current home if I got you a great price in this market, right? So if you were to put something out like that, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm doing a little research. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to sell your current home if I brought you the right buyer at a great price right now? And now people are scrolling through and they're writing and they're commenting 8, 10, bring the buyer, 4, whatever. What do you think you need to do with all of those 8 to 10s? Because a lot of them can get the type of money they actually want right now, and they don't even realize it because the market is so freaking hot, right? Again, That's called being proactive. Okay. What's another way we can use social? What about, you know, a lot of you, when you sell when you close on a property with someone, you know, you do the typical thing, the standard thing where you put up a property and you say, or you put them up or something and you say, congrats to my buyers, congrats to my sellers. Okay. Which is great. But there's a very specific way to do it to make sure that it brings business back to you. Okay. It's very step by step. So here's what you're going to do. First thing, when you put up that congrats to your sellers, you need to be in the picture. Okay. If you've never noticed, pictures about home selling or congrats or whatever, you know, new babies, engagements, weddings, all of these things generate a ton of comments. Okay. Why? Because in the Facebook and the Instagram algorithm, when somebody writes congrats or congratulations, it's a trigger. It shows it to more people. Okay. So if you ever want one of your posts to do really well, just write congrats in the comments. I'm half kidding. But what you're going to do is you want to get credit though for selling. You want to have visibility to their people, right? So you're going to put up a post on closing day, congrats to my sellers, blah, 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 say something nice about them. And then you're going to have a call to action. And you're going to say, this means I have room for one new seller. Who do you know? That's your call to action. Now, here's the key point. When you post that on closing day, you're not going to tag them. Why? Because we want them to share it, but they're stressed on closing day. So we're hoping they see it and we're hoping that they share it to their people and it gets hundreds of comments from their people, but they're also stressed and they're saying how the walkthrough didn't go like they thought it should have and they're whatever, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it on closing day, hope that they share it. But if they don't, 3 days later, once things have calmed down, I'm then going to go back and tag them because now they're going to see the tag. And now what are they going to do? Now they're going to go and share that thing. Okay. Now, another thing that we can do here, if this works right now, again, who knows with Instagram right now, I'm going to show you guys my phone again, and I'm going to show you probably the best way today to use social, which by the way is stories. Okay. Stories are the number one thing to be doing on social. But a lot of you don't know this, but if I scroll to the top here, right, and I hit that little plus in the right-hand side, that's where I can add a post or add a story or add a whatever. And the most commonly underused story right now on Instagram that gets so much engagement and it's so worthwhile is polls. So if I hit plus and I hit story, right? Now, when I'm in these stories right here, I can go to create. If you can see there, I just hit that little create button, okay? And when I do this, I've got a lot of different options for what I can do, okay? So one of the options that I can do is a poll, okay? I can actually post a poll. And I can post a poll on my stories and have it say something like, have you had thoughts about selling in the next 12 months? And they click on yes or no, okay? And people love to interact with these stories. When they're watching your stories, they love to click yes or no. You know, are they going to, have they had thoughts of selling? Have they not had thoughts of selling, okay? Now, here's the beauty in this. Unlike a regular post that goes on your Instagram or your Facebook, like in the regular news feed, which if you post similar things over and over again, it's going to get very annoying because people are going to be seeing the same things over and over and over again from you. The beauty of stories is that they disappear within 24 hours. So you can post similar things and have them show up, right? So if you post something like that, have you had thoughts of selling the next 12 months? The beauty is that you can actually go into your when you go into your stories and you swipe up, it shows you who's responded and what their answers are. Now, you don't need 50 leads a day. If you posted something similar to that, have you had thoughts of selling the next 12 months? Have you had thoughts of buying the next 12 months? What are the odds you're going to, you know, whatever it is, right? You did that 3 times a week. And every time you posted it, 1 to 2 people said yes. You would then create 3 to 6 new leads a week because when you see who it is, you're now able to reach out to them. And you'd be like, hey, what's going, I saw that you were, you are having thoughts of selling. What part of the process? I'm just here to help you right now, here to help educate you right now. And now you're getting those on a regular basis by using your stories. We did this next month. We have our Jared James Advance, and it's going to be in Nashville, but it was also going to be a virtual option, right? Last year when we did it, we were 100% virtual because the whole world was closed down, right? And so leading up to that event, I posted stories almost every other day that would say things like, are you on the fence about attending the Jared James Advance virtually? Have you been meaning to attend virtually, but haven't bought your ticket yet, haven't bought your registration? And I would post these things just about every other day. And then we'd go and look and see who said yes. And I would give that list to my salespeople to reach out to. And we reach out with some kind of a promo. And we sold hundreds and hundreds of tickets just by doing that, by being visible and being in front of them. You could do the exact same thing, leveraging polls on your stories, okay? Let's talk about another one. Another one you could do is when you look at the, every year, when people buy or sell a home or when they own a home, it's their most valuable asset they own. It is the number one contributor to their wealth, the number one contributor to their retirement. It's worthwhile. And yet, for any of you that have stock investments or mutual funds, you know that there's someone you work with, and once a year they reach out to you and they let you know the value of that portfolio. And if they didn't do that, they wouldn't be doing their job. So what I want you to do is I want you, every time you close with someone from this point on, I want you to put it in your calendar to follow up with them 1 year later and every year after. And every person, every seller or every buyer you've worked with that owns a home in the past, I want you now moving forward in the next few weeks here to be reaching out to every one of them. But I don't just want you to reach out to give them an updated value of their home, okay? That's nice, and we should all be doing that, right? But what I want you to be doing is I want you to reach out and offer them an updated value of their portfolio. That's the verbiage, okay? So every client of yours gets an updated value of their portfolio every year. Why do I use the word portfolio? Because portfolio speaks to multiple properties, right? That speaks to, even if they only have one, your portfolio. And when you reach out to them, you want to be very specific. And you want to say things like, hey, it's that time of the year. I want to let you know about the value of your portfolio. I'm not sure if you're aware, but market's gone up. You've got about $38,000 equity in your home. If you were to take about $23,000 of that and put it towards this multifamily over here, you would generate about $1,200 a month in net income. Does that sound interesting to you? And now you're not just giving them an update on the value of their portfolio, but what are you doing? You're actually getting them involved and getting them to think in the way of, I could be investing without even spending any money. Like I could be pulling it from my current place and I could be making money. And now your value goes way more than just somebody who opens the door for them. Now you're helping them add to their portfolio. Okay, that's another way you could be creating listings, creating properties, right? Next one, another way you could do this in a similar way. Yes, we should be giving updates on people, even without them asking the value of their property, because they want to know. They want to know what the value of their property is. One of the most underutilized ways is using Google Earth. Okay, and so we taught this strategy to our students. We taught it to our coaches and had amazing results. But what you're going to do is you're going to go into Google and you're going to type Google Earth. Guess what's going to come up? Google Earth. Okay, you're going to launch Google Earth. What Google Earth does is you can type in any address on the planet and it does an overhead of that property. You can zoom in, you can move around, you can whatever. What I want you to do is I want you to pick 5 people from your database a day, 5 people a day that you didn't, they're not current clients. They're just people in your database. They're potential leads. They're people, your friends and family, whatever it is, 5 people a day. And what I want you to do is for those 5 people, you're going to do a 1-to-1 video. You could do it through BombBomb. You could do it through Zoom. You could do it through one of these places that allows you to screen share. All of these places allow you to screen share. And what you're going to do for each one of these people is 5 people a day. You're going to shoot a video. You're going to go into Google Earth, have Google Earth over their property. You're going to screen share over their property, and you're going to record yourself talking about their value. And you're going to talk about their property while you're panning over it and while you're showing the pool, and while you're zooming in and while you're moving around. You're going to talk about the potential value of their property and how it's changed the last year, but you're going to do it with Google Earth. And then you're going to, each one of these 5 people, you're going to send them that video specific to their property, one by one, each 5 people a day, and watch what happens. Because when people see an email from you with a video and the video is their property, do you think the odds of them actually looking or watching that video go up or down? And yeah, they go up, absolutely go up, right? I taught this strategy to our coaches about 4 months ago. And one of our coaches started doing it, and she was about 10 days in doing it. She had sent it to about 50 people. She was doing 5 a day for 10 days. And she sent me an email and she said, Jared, I don't know what I've been doing this whole time. She goes, but I've sent this to 50 people. She goes, I have, she said, I've listed 3 properties and I've got 2 listing appointments set up just on those 50 I've sent to. She goes, people love seeing like their property and they were curious about their value and and it was a quick, easy way to get in front of them in a way that actually mattered. Okay. Let's talk about one more way here, because I know that we're running short. I know we have 30 minutes here. So the greatest way to create listings in the market we're in today, and really in any market, is buyers, to have buyers. Okay. It's the old adage: if you want to catch the mice, you got to have the cheese, right? If you want to get sharks, you got to have chum, right? And if you want to have sellers, if you want to get listings, what do you need? You need buyers. And so it's funny because one of the greatest ways is buyers, but the thing that it seems like everyone's avoiding right now is buyers, because they feel like, oh my God, gonna have to make all these offers. They're annoying. They're gonna be unrealistic. They're the number. When you have a buyer, you have the potential for a seller. But here's what you do, okay? And this is now and moving forward, not just now, but forevermore, right? If you had a listing, don't you all have a budget for that listing? Meaning, don't you promote it? Don't you put it in ads? Don't you have a budget, marketing, whatever, of that listing? How come we don't have the same thing for a buyer? That's really the question. You should have a budget for your buyers. And here's what I want you to do. Remember that COVID style language? Every single buyer you get from this day forward, don't let another buyer come through without you taking advantage of the opportunity of picking up sellers off that buyer. I want you to shoot a video for every single buyer you work with. And you could shoot a video like this where you're looking at a professional camera. You could shoot a video like this where you're looking at your actual phone like this, right? Whichever way you do it, I don't really care. Whichever way is going to work for you is fine by me. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to get very specific. You're going to shoot a video and it's going to be like, hey, everyone in so-and-so, just wanted to let you know, I've got 2 buyers right now that are looking for 3 to 4 bedrooms, 1 to 2 baths, 1,500 to 2,000 square feet in so-and-so school district. Due to the low inventory, we've been unable to find them something, but they are ready, willing, and able to go. Can you do me a favor? If you or anyone you know is even considering selling, can you please let me know right away? I may be able to sell your house without it ever hitting the market. Looking forward to hearing from you. You shoot that video, okay? Shoot that video. Remember that language we said over and over again? You're saying it, right? Put that video on Facebook, put it on Instagram, and put it on YouTube. Put a $20 budget behind it, okay? Now, you can't target by postal codes anymore, but you can target to towns and cities. Take that video, promote it, pay $20 to promote it to your whole town, to your whole city. So people are watching that video, and then watch what happens. People are going to start tagging their mother who's thinking of selling, who lives in that school district, who has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,700 square feet, all fit the, we may be able to sell without it ever hitting the market. They've got buyers ready, willing, and able to go. People will start DMing you, direct messaging you, saying, hey, do you have buyers for that? I've actually got someone, whatever. Do that with every single buyer that you have and promote that to the area, because one of 2 things is going to happen. Number one, on a regular basis with each buyer, you're going to have people reach out and it's going to create seller leads because you were very specific about what you have and you were intentional about what you have. But even when you do that video and you send it out and it doesn't generate a seller lead, what has it also done? Branding. Everyone in your area sees it on a regular basis, sees you on a regular basis, sees you with clients on a regular basis. And now they're thinking about you. When they think real estate, they think you. You need to do that with every single buyer that you have now and moving forward, and watch what it does for your business. Okay. So guys, if you take those, I don't know what I covered, 5, 6, 7, 8 different things. This was just a rapid fire of potential seller generation techniques. You take those, imagine if you just took a couple of those, and rather than just running around day to day and hoping that you get a seller, or, staring at your phone and hoping to God it rings. Imagine if you took a couple of tactics where you were proactive and you said, I'm going to actually go make it happen right now. How much different would your business look? There's no reason every single one of you can't do that, right? So take that, guys. As I always say, if you have questions or anything, just go to connectwithjared.com, connectwithjared.com. You can connect on Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or YouTube or any of these places. Send me a direct message if you have questions. I'll answer every single one of them. So that's what I got today.